Hi, I'm Doug here at Global West, and today we're going to talk about a 115 SH kit. It's a Cat 5 system for leaf springs. It's actually a bearing system. And the reason why we're going to talk about it is because we've had a lot of people contact us wanting to know how to install a 115 SH. And what this basically is, it's leaf spring eye bushings, but with spherical bearings in them. And we also have the Delaloom bushing for the frame. We've been manufacturing this kit for years and been using them since the early 80s. Especially used in road racing. That's where this kit really shines. A lot of people are asking us, well, how do you put them in the leaf spring? You got instructions, but we really like to see a video. So today, what we're going to do is we're going to do a video exactly on how to install these bushings into the leaf springs. It's not that difficult, so let's get to it. As you can see, we have everything laid out on the table. And whether you do the small steel housing or the big steel housing, press it into the leaf spring, it doesn't matter what you do first. Press the steel housing in and you'll see the lip on the housing. You want that to contact the leaf spring. So you just bring it on down until it does. Flip the leaf around and you're going to install the other side. Now make sure that the lip is on the same side of the leaf as the one you just pressed in. Follow the same procedure. Now you're going to grab these retaining rings, and you can't mess it up because they're so different in diameters. And you're just simply going to tap it down around the steel housing up against the leaf. Do the front and the rear. Now once you've got that done, you're ready to weld it. And the welding, you're not going to weld the leaf spring. You're just going to weld the retaining ring to the steel housing. We recommend TIG for this application. It's going to find how you point your torch. We don't want to put a lot of heat into the leaf. You want to stagger it and then let it cool naturally. Don't quench it. You're going to do this to the front and the rear both. Once you got that complete and it cools down, we're ready for the next step, which will be installing the bearings. Here we're doing the front eye first. It's the larger diameter bearing. And you're simply going to press the bearing, and there's a register inside the steel housing that the bearing is going to index on. So you just press it down until it stops. This is the rear eyelet, a little bit smaller. That'll drop in a little bit, but that's okay because there's a register down at the base of it as well. And all you do is just press that bearing down until it contacts the register, and that's it. But on this particular one, there's this retaining ring you're going to have to press in as well over the bearing, is what basically this is. As you can see, simply slide it to the very top there, press it down. Now it's going to be below the height of the housing, just a little bit, probably around 100 thousandths or so, and that's where it's supposed to be. So you will have to press it down. It's got to contact the bearing and hold it in position. Once you get that pressed in, you're going to be welding. Now what we do here is that retaining ring has to be welded down. We recommend silicon bronze. It's low heat in order to weld that in, and you do 180 out from each other on the bead. Again, this is TIG. And about a ½ inch of weld on each side. That's all you need. Let that all cool down. The next step will be in the front. You're going to put the retaining ring in the front eye, and there's going to be a groove in there, and that's called a spiral lock that you're going to be putting in. You'll notice how he does that. After everything is assembled, we recommend putting some paint. We use engine paint so you can reduce any possibilities of rust or what have you. And essentially, those bearings are in the leaves, ready to go. Okay. Now you got a good idea on how we put those bearings in the spring eyes. So let me show you something here real quick. So for the front eyes, you're going to have these large diameter spacers. They simply slip into the bearing, and you get these bolts in the kit as well. And if you could see this here, see that movement? That's the leaf spring is going to be capable of tilting, which is what you want. Okay. On the back, in the shackle area here, we've got our spacers. Same thing. They go into the spring and the bearing in the rear. Our Delaloom bushing. This is for the frame. Okay. This is going to get pressed into the frame, and just so you know, I happen to have this is a tool. This is a TSH 100, And this is a press tool for the 115 SH kit. It also works for 103s and other applications, but this makes your life a lot easier putting this bushing in your frame. Just so you know that this is available. It's a TSH 100. Well, this presses in. There's grease fittings in the kit. They'll go in the bushing. And once this is pressed in, you've got your insert. You got inner and outer thrust washers. There's different thicknesses of thrust washers. I think you can see that here. Okay. The thin one always goes next to the grease fitting. That'll go on. And so this would actually be up in your frame, okay? You'll slide the shackle through. It'll be sitting up in there like this. On the other side, you're going to put your shackle through the bearing like this. These will go together like this, okay? Of course, you'll have the nuts on here accordingly. Like so. We show in the instructions there's going to be a technique on how to tighten these down. Quite simple. But let me show you here. So when the front's allowing to tilt, so does the rear. And what that does is it takes all the bind out of the leaf. No more rising rate from twisting, from resistance. And this is what keeps the tire planted on the inside. A lot of times in a road race environment with leaf springs, you're picking up the inside tire. Not this way. The other nice thing about doing this is because everything works on center line, it doesn't allow lateral, it just allows it to tilt. And therefore, panhard rods aren't required. Not even a Watts link is required because it's all handled through the leaf spring. The rear end does not go laterally. It just tilts. Okay? What that's going to do is keep the tire planted. That's why in a road race environment, this is something you should look into. It's a Cat 5. It's a 115 SH. As you can see, it's pretty easy to install after we showed you. If you're road racing, you may want to check it out.